Today is finally the day. The OLED is out. I am recording this the day it launched at October 8th, and I'm pretty excited for this. Even though the OLED's announcement was a bit disappointing to some who really wanted a Pro Switch, I play 50-50 portably and on TV, so having this new screen and it being an OLED model, I'm pretty excited to see like what the differences are. I really want to just jump right into it, but here I have the two Switches. I have the original one. This is the version 1 Nintendo Switch, and so this was like back in 2017, and then I have the Switch Lite, which was in a previous video, which this one was a pretty neat little system as well. But here we have the main attraction, which is the Nintendo Switch OLED. I got the white one. I also, I know there was the red and blue one as well. I didn't go for that one just because it just looked very much the same. I didn't want to feel like I was unboxing the same deal. And I mean, if anything, the red and blue Joy-Cons are the exact same as the original ones. So if anything, I can slap those on and see what it would look like on an OLED Switch, just so you can get that kind of same feeling. I just won't have the same color dock. But without further ado, let's just get right into this. Now, Nintendo systems usually have a pretty nice just way to open this. You just take this tab out, no tape or nothing, which is nice. Just undo that, and then bam. Like, the box is different from the original Switches. Usually they're like in a landscape like this, and they're actually a bit longer, but this one's a bit smaller, so I think they went for space efficiency here with this. And I mean, look at that. That's the main beauty right there, the OLED model. Oh, that's cool. And you got the new kickstand too, which is nice. I'm gonna put that on the side real quick. We got new color Joy-Cons. We haven't gotten this color before, so nice to add to the collection, as you can see. Yeah, so now that we have like essentially the gray ones, now we have another kind of basic color for that. Take this off. We got our HDMI wires. We got the power cable. We don't need those. We got the grip, which is the same as with every other Switch. And then what is this? This is the grips. Not the grip. You know, it's the things that you slide in to give the side buttons a better button. And then, of course, you pull this out. We got the dock. So let's just move that aside and pull this out. Get this out right here. Oh, this is like hugging it. Hold on. Let me try. There we go. So now that we got everything out of the box, here's the dock first off. I mean, look at that. That's kind of a beauty, man. I know this is nothing like, the dock's nothing like super special. It's just really just like a redesign pretty much, but I really like the inside of it. The round edges looks really nice and clean. And of course, when you open this up, there we go. Oh, well, this just came off. There's an Ethernet cable now. I don't know if you can see it right there. No more 3.0 USB, which they didn't really use it to begin with anyway. This thing came off like really easy. I hope that's not like yeah, like I don't know if it's, I guess it's just not on a hinge or whatever. Let me just try to get this back on without breaking it. There we go. I was a little worried there for a second. So yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of that. That one, that's not something I like compared to the other one. I like that it just swung out. I don't like that you have to, it essentially takes the whole back off, unless I'm just doing it wrong. But there's the dock. Let's get to the Switch itself. Let's take this out. Look at that. Oh. Nice glossiness right here. Usually not a big fan of glossy, but it looks nice when you first take it out of the box. And I mean, it's like very small surface area that it's glossy, so I mean, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. On the back, got this right here, which I don't think my gloves can actually. I might have to do this off camera, but like the stand's supposed to be a lot better. This is the whole stand right here, comparing it to this little stupid thing right here. But you know, I really like the stand. I like that they fixed that issue. I'm so happy about that, because it's like, for the longest time, this kickstand was just so crap and stupid, and now we finally have like a better kickstand for it if you want to play tabletop mode. Otherwise, it was just atrocious. You had to like put something against it. You had to like kind of lean it like this. And it was just really stupid. But I mean, hey, comparing this, let's just take the Joy-Cons off, just so you could get a better comparison of the tablet. Right here, I mean, this one's fingerprint heavy because I've used this for I think like 4 years at this point now. You see the bezels; those big bezels are gone. Most of it is just screen now, which is really nice. You can see it's like a lot more reflective too. Which, I mean, that's nice. That's really nice. Getting into the controllers, I mean, they're pretty much the same deal as before. But it's just now we have a new color to go with the many array of colors we have for the Joy-Cons. So I'm really happy we got basic colors like this, because it's just, you know, nice to have different ones. Like I said, the only other options for these OLED models were the red and blue one, as far as like in the box goes. But any Joy-Con will work on this. As you can see, I have my Zelda ones that came out before this. It slides in just fine, which is probably what I'm going to use for these Joy-Cons. I just wanted one because it's a new Joy-Con color to add to the Joy-Con collection. As you see, I've done a video on it before, so this is another one to add to it. But yep. Now, what I want to do is I want to compare, like, I actually want to get the other dock real quick, and then we're gonna get 2 games. I have Smash Brothers and Odyssey that we're gonna compare it, see how it looks on the OLED compared to the original. I feel like the obvious is going to be that this is going to look better on the OLED, or, you know, the worst case scenario is that it's just the same. But let me get right into that. So here we have the 2 docks side by side. Just move these out of the way for a second. And here we have the 2 docks next to each other. As you can see, this one's a little more rounded compared to this, with just a boxy look. I've always really liked the original version of the dock. I thought it was a really nice design. And of course, there's not too much difference here. I mean, of course, the logos are actually, you know, this one's smaller, this one is a lot bigger, and this is just kind of like imprinted on here, whereas this is like, I don't know what the proper term is, but it's like, definitely the logo is applied differently on here. And then flipping it to the sides here, the inside is very just like the whole dock for the original is the same material, just the same finish all throughout, whereas this one has like a glossiness in the inside as well, making it a lot more fancy. And then of course here we have a smaller Nintendo logo here compared to here, but that's not really important. You also have different shape for the wires coming out of it. Same thing with this, but this thing, the back is a hinge. It's on there. It's not like, it doesn't come off, whereas this comes off. Like, this completely comes off as a separate piece. And I mean, some people might say that is a good thing. I wish you'd at least have the option to take it off. Like with here, I'm pretty sure you could take this off if you wanted to. Yeah. I'm not going to, as I don't want to break it, but I'm pretty sure you could take that off if you wanted to, whereas this, you know, you have no choice. It's just you take it off and that's it. It's a minor complaint. It's not really that big of a deal, but the vents, I think they did a little bit better job with the airflow. That's just my opinion. I think this is a little bit better. There's a lot more space here compared to this one rectangle. You got 2 things right here. And of course, the biggest difference between these things is the fact that this has a This has an Ethernet cable and is missing a USB port, and this one does not have the Ethernet cable. This USB is a 3.0, or at least it's supposed to be, but it doesn't operate like that, and they just never used it. Whereas this one, they just decided to get rid of it, and I think, yeah, this whole part's glossy too, which I like that the glossiness bits of the console and the dock are not like major areas like this, you know, things that you would touch a lot, because I always hated glossiness on consoles just because of the fact that they get fingerprint heavy. Like, it's bad enough the screen gets fingerprint heavy, there's no avoiding that, but having things like the dock and stuff be glossy is good for 5 minutes on pictures, but that's about it. But going into the Switches one more time, I do want to point out that the kickstands are like a mile better. I mean, you have this flimsy thing that just pops right off, and this was really frustrating. We had to deal with this for 4 years, and so, I mean, I hated this thing a lot. I think mine is like really loose because I kept doing that thing where I would take it off. It doesn't even like to stay on there anymore. But this one is miles better. I mean, for one, it covers the entire back, and you can get it all the way like that, so you can just have it extended out like this. And just move the docks that way you can see it better. So you can have it like this, or you can have it like that. You know, you have more leverage with it, and it's very sturdy on there. This is not coming off, so I very much like that. And of course, the logo, the Switch logo, is not only a lot smaller here compared to the original Switch, but it also has less like info like this stuff on the back, whereas it's just the logo on the back of this thing. And so, yeah, that's pretty much all the major differences with this. I did off camera set this up so we could just get right into the game comparisons. But just before we do that, I did say that the red and blue one, they did make a red and blue one. I have my original red and blue for the version 1 Switch. And the dock here, the only difference between this one and the red and blue one is that it's just the same color as this. It's the gray blackish color that you get for the original Switch. It's the same right here, but with this mold. And then that's pretty much the only difference with the dock. I could pretty much show you here what the OLED would look like with red and blue Joy-Cons. Just slide that in. And then there you go. You got your red and blue Joy-Con OLED. So, I mean, yeah, the one thing I just hate about tablets, just of any kind, it doesn't matter, is the fingerprints, man. I was literally just trying to transfer things over, and this thing got super fingerprint heavy. Because I do like using the touchscreen, but I don't know. I gotta get something for fingerprints. I don't have anything to get fingerprints off quite yet, but hopefully I'll find it someday. But now that we've fiddled around with that, I want to get into actual gameplay comparisons, just seeing how much better the screen is compared to something like this. So now that we have the two Switches side by side with a game on, now we could see how much of a difference you get as far as the screen quality. Now on camera, as I'm seeing this right now, you really can't see anything. I don't think my camera's gonna do it justice enough, but take my word for it that, you know, you do actually see a slight tiny bit difference. Is it $50 difference? Probably not. But like for instance, if you went for this model instead of this one, you're not gonna really be missing out on a whole lot of like, oh man, this game looks better in comparison. Really, like, this one does look a little darker compared to this one, or this one just looks more vibrant compared to this one. There's a lot more well, for this one I feel like it's a lot more colorful, I guess, but it's in a very loose way. I can't straight up say that this is the definitive, like this is 100% way better, miles away from this, because really, you know, unless you're in person, you're not going to really notice much of a difference. you're just looking at it from a video isn't really going to show it to you. Really, you would need to see it in person to justify whether or not you feel like this is worth the upgrade to get from this to this if you already own this. If you don't already own this and you could pick this up, I would probably go for this. But on the one hand, I don't think that it's necessary. It's a necessary upgrade. It's definitely good, and it's definitely it's still a great system because it's just taking off from this, putting it here, and you have some small minor improvements. So I mean, yeah, those minor improvements, while minor, they're still improvements and they're still very good. I just don't think that if you own this already and you use it a lot, especially on the TV, this being $350 is it's just something that you're gonna have to decide whether or not it's worth it for you. A lot of people, I feel like, at least a lot of people who I know, don't feel like it's worth it, that people who own Switches. Although I will say, if you own a Switch Lite, this would be an immense improvement. But of course, people who own Switch Lites usually either gave them to their children, which I would not give this to a child, or they did it because they were on a budget and wanted to save money. Now, while I do still think that this would be a significant upgrade if they did want to get a better portable handheld, it would kind of defeat the whole trying to save money, because $350, it's not the most expensive thing in the world, but it's still a lot of money to throw out just to have a second Switch to upgrade. It's really just up to you, your personal preference. I do want to compare another game because this one, I'm using a new profile. I don't have access to the other worlds on here, so it's not going to be a great comparison. I do want to use Super Smash Bros. As the next comparison, so we're going to go into that now. Now we're on Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I feel like here you could see the differences a little bit better. We're on small battlefield, and this one has a lot more of a brightness to it compared to this. Now, does this mean this is better? Not necessarily, but I mean, hey, it's still like an improvement, I guess, compared to this one. So I mean, it's one of those things where it's still, you just need to use your judgment on whether or not that sort of thing is worth it to you compared to something else. Really, the version 1 or 2, the Switch Lite, or the OLED all have their reasons for whether or not you want to buy this one or that one or whatever. Really, out of all three Switch models, my personal favorite, I gotta say, is this one, just because of the fact I do like just having more screen to play with. The display is just a little bit nicer. The kickstand is amazing, and it's just so good. But is that all those minor differences really warrant a $50 upgrade if, say, you already own something like this, or a $150 upgrade if you own the Lite? I feel like it's more so worth it for the Lite if you want to make that upgrade. Otherwise, if you have this one, it's really hard to decide if it's like something that's worthwhile. Realistically, like, this pretty much does all the same things this can, just with a few minor differences. And notice how I also didn't say the audio was like super better, because that was something that they advertised, having a better sound quality, not specifically saying like what kind of sound it was just better sound. I know you guys can't hear the sounds on here, it's just in case any kind of music plays, but realistically, while I was setting this up off camera and just kind of getting the games running, they didn't sound any different. I didn't notice any significant differences in the audio. Maybe, quite possibly, this is a little louder, but saying that this is a little louder is not an improvement to me. I don't know. I don't really care if it's louder. I don't play it with full volume on. So really, it's just not something like that. Like that little bit, it's not even on the box. If you notice here, like, You have like all the different things. You have like the 7-inch display with the 64 gig memory, dock with LAN port, which is, I cannot believe that's like a thing that they're listing on the box, and an adjustable stand. That's really it. There's nowhere on this box that says, oh, the audio is improved, you know? And you got these nice little screenshots of the Switch OLED in its different forms. But yeah, like, there's nowhere on this box that says the audio is improved, and anywhere. So why they listed that off in the trailer, I don't know why, but I mean, I guess. But I mean, on the stuff that they did say they were going to improve, they did. And I mean, I think it's stuff we should have had with the original Switch. So it's like, yeah, I mean, as much as I say I do like this one over this one, I do still have a soft spot for this. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just kind of like whether or not you're willing to spend the money for this. But I feel like that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing of the Switch OLED. I know I sure did. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later.